Good morning to each and every one of you. Want to thank you so much for joining us right here on our Wake Up Like This on this Saturday morning. It is January 28, 2023. And we have with us our host, Queen Learning, inside the house with some very special guests this morning. We want to welcome our special guest this morning, Queen Learner. First, let's start with you. Good morning, Queen Learner. How you wake up?
I wake up, sir.
That's how you wake up?
Yes, I wake up.
All right, let me give you a chance now to introduce your guest to us. Good morning, guest.
Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Great.
I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. Take the time out to join us on Wake Up Like This, everybody. So on the hot seat, you guys, we have some professionals. And their expertise goes over together. You want to hear it? You guys, you want to hear it? Together over 100 years. Does that sound crazy? That's right. That's going to start with my mentor and the professor, Mr. Smart. We're going to go about the music this time, guys. We're going to talk taxes for all of us. This is an important topic. We have Mr. Phil Smart over 45 years in business.
I don't need to interrupt you, Miss Miller, but when you say I wake up like this and you put a pause, so you freeze by that pause. Everybody, let's watch you right now, but you freeze right that pause right there, so you wake up.
Yes.
She's still in a freeze mode. Yeah, we're hoping she's gonna get on freeze, folks. But go ahead, Queen Learner. Go ahead.
You guys don't know why am I from? Anyhow, you guys can let me. Let's go ahead and introduce our guest, Mr. Phil Smart, over 45 years in business, you guys. And we're gonna hear from him. He's also a professor, you guys, teacher, and he is the owner of the manager of Bells and the Sensation. We're gonna talk taxes today. On the other hand, seat is my Elaine, and I don't like to see you guys. Welcome, 2023. We're gonna see why we are from. We have on the other hand, Elaine. I'm sorry, you guys. Mr. Phil Smart. Enterprise, all right, and tax service. Elaine Proby tax and accounting. Oh my goodness, 40 years in tax. Yes, you guys some over 40 years in the business. Okay, so you guys see some professionals that know what they are talking about. And our newbie, guys. This is the unity on our Wake Up Like This. We have in the hot seat from Albert Halak and Son. We have the son with us today. We have Henrik Halak in the house.
All right.
And they also, yes, they are also over 40 years in business because, his father, Albert Halak. And then he came on board back in 2002 to join his dad. So you guys give it up one more time. All right, give it up.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the microphone on to Miss Proby while you come off, Miss Lerner, and I bring you back on. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. Keep going, you guys.
Go ahead, Miss Proby.
All right. Well, happy to be here, guys. Good morning, everyone out there. So today we're obviously going to be talking about taxes, this is a tax season. This is a topic, whether we want to address it or not, but it's so important and we have to do it because it's our due diligence. We need to get our taxes done. And I guess the more you know, right, the better off it is. So like Queen Lerna said, we got a group of folks here with years and years and years of knowledge. So if you have any questions, y'all can put it in the chat. I'm sure Mr. Johnson will let us know what those questions are. And so we can get right into those. But today, you guys, think about it. We're going to give you our information and all of the major topics, all of the things on a personal level, and also some business stuff. We could talk about some business stuff, what people can write off, what they can claim, how they can get more money back. So this is what we're going to talk about, right, guys? Mr. Phil Smart and Kenrick, you guys would agree with that?
Yes.
All right. So that's what we're going to get into today. And I think what we can actually start off with, there's a lot of things out there that people needs to know, like all the new stuff. And we all know that when it got into the COVID and all of the new tax laws and everything have changed in the last 2 years, right? In 20 and 21, those taxes were so different. So for 2022, we're kind of going to regress back, where we're going to go back into things where it used to be. A lot of numbers are going to be different, right, guys? There's going to be a lot of refunds that's going to be totally different. Some people are going to be very upset, very shocked, very surprised. You guys agree?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, Mr. Smart, what are some of the things that is definitely going to change where refunds are going to be so much lower this year? I know you guys want to hear this, but it is. So let's just get ready for it so you're not totally surprised.
One of the main topics going to be the child tax credit. The child, where the child care. A lot of people were getting more money last year, but this year is not going to happen. The child care credit is not like it was last year, and there are other credits that is going to that was introduced via COVID. Those are going to be pulled back. So like the probably suggested that a lot of people are going to be disappointed because they were going to look forward to a big refund, which is not going to happen this year.
Okay, Mr. Halak, exactly, give them some idea of what, let's say, the difference that child tax credit, because remember there was an advance that took place because of the amount of credit and all that stuff. Give them a little bit of highlight of what is happening with that child tax credit this year.
Not here.
You're on mute. Unmute your mic, Kenrick.
I want to thank you guys for having me here on the panel. It's a pleasure to be around royalty. With the child tax credit, I know that it's going to be lower, but I'm not sure the amount is. You're gonna have also deal with the money you receive from California. California gave out some money. The federal government gave out some money. So we're gonna have to be able to put those in on taxes also. So it's gonna be significantly lower.
Yeah.
Because of those things.
Yeah.
Money during the year, so now we gotta claim that.
Well, they were trying to help us out during that whole COVID year, child tax credit. Just as an update, they had took it up to $3,600 per child, and everybody was getting a large refund, right, Mr. Smart? And now it's back down to that $2,000.
Right. Yeah. But we remember what I mentioned earlier. We were thinking about the child care credit. Child care credit.
That was major.
Some people were getting up to $8,000.
$8,000.
For the child care credit. Now that has been withdrawn.
Yes.
The child tax credit. Some people were getting each month a certain amount for the children. So that child care credit that was being forwarded each month is not going to be there for parents this year. But the credit is still going to be there when they file their taxes.
Right. So it just means they didn't get that money in advance like they did in 21 because the government was trying to make sure you have money in your pocket earlier.
That's correct.
That didn't happen last year. And another reason for that too is because, again, the credit went back down to the $2,000 as opposed to $3,600, which is a lot. A lot of difference there, And then I love what you said about the child care credit because, I mean, $8,000. People were getting over $10,000 and stuff in refunds last year. And I've done some of those, and you guys may have as well, where those things are drastically reduced. And of course, you have to explain, right? All right, Kendrick, you have to explain.
Yes.
So far, what have you encountered from your clients so far? I know a lot of folks is not all in yet because people are still getting their W-2. What's the deadline for that? End of the month, right?
The end of the month.
Yeah. So what have you encountered so far with your clients coming in?
Is the monies they receive during the year by California and the federal government. Some folks have letters, some folks don't. So we have to ask the question if they receive those monies.
Okay.
From the miscellaneous income.
Right. So yeah, and then Mrs. Smart, like you said on that credit too, because remember they could have gotten that. That's because they had gotten the advance back in 21?
2022.
22.
The monies that were received in 2022, some people aren't aware of those.
Right. Okay. So guys, again, there you have it. Seriously, this is one of the things that we really want to bring to everyone's attention, so that in advance, when you go to your tax preparer, don't think that they're doing something wrong because your refund is 4 and 5 and maybe $6,000 even lesser than it was the year before, and that's the first thing you're going to get. So just make sure that you guys get this information. Okay, be aware of it. So when you go in there, you're already expecting this, and you know why. At least you're going to be the smart taxpayer that's going to be, well, I know why my refund is less, right? We won't have to explain, right, Mrs. Smart?
Right,
You already know because you heard it here.
And we're still going to have to explain line by line. This is why make sure they have that understanding. But, yeah,
All right,
some
all
people
right.
get disappointed.
Okay, Queen Lerna is back, I think. Looks like she is all back, and now she's waking up like
this again. Thank you guys.
I think
I wake up now. I'm moving. Hey, you guys are moving. All right, we gotta do this. I know you guys. Stay with us. All right, just a little technical difficulties that's going on here, but we got this. We're gonna have our DJ or producer play some music right now so that we could get back in the flow of things. All right, it's a wake up like this January episode.
All right. All right.
Oh, Mr. Martin, he is the only vet in town. One day, Miss Janie bring her cat for the doctor put down. He said the cat, oh, the cat no good no more. He fat and he out of shape. This cat is a lazy beast. Mr. Martin tell Miss Janie meet her under the house. He pull out the club and start to chase the cat all around. He roll up his sleeve with that, get down on his knees with that. Mr. Martin beat the cat. Miss Janie catch heart attack. Oh, Mr. Martin left me cat. I, Mr. Martin left me cat. Stop beat up me cat. You're killing the cat. Oh, Mr. Martin left me cat. I, Mr. Martin left me cat. Stop beat up me cat. You're killing me cat. Now, Mr. Martin, he have a reputation in town. If you let your cat astray, this cat a go take on down. It could be a black cat, it could be a white cat, it could be a brown cat, fat cat, maga cat. He roll up his sleeve with that, get down on his knees with that. Oh, Martin go beat the cat, I hear how he eat the cat. He roll up his sleeve with that, get down on his
Come on,
knees
y'all.
with that. Mr. Martin beat the cat, I hear how he eat the cat.
Hey.
Because you like get trouble. And he's fat and out of shape. I don't know why you work with that cat. You shoot them anyway. Under the house, under the house. Mr. Martin always up in the street under the house. Under the house, under the house. Mr. Martin always up in your boat under the house. He roll up his sleeve with that, get down on his knees with Janie catch heart attack. Oh, Mr.
The
Martin.
music of those and the sensation on Radio Belizemix on this Saturday morning. It's a wake up like this. We want to take time out to send a shout out here to those watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. We're saying good morning to Darlene Westby in Chicago, Joan Bobbitt, the folks in Texas, Houston, Florida, across the globe. We thank you for joining us this morning. Let's take it away with the wake up like with Queen Lerner. Go ahead, Queen Lerner.
We thank you, you guys. I'm sure you guys heard from my sister over there. Thank you for jumping in there, you guys. Keep the ball rolling. We're going to cover today, we want to call this the ABC of taxes. This is the season for it. It's here. Some of us love it because we get moolah back, or some of us hate it because we don't. And now I want to talk to Kenrick. I want you to just give us an ABC. We can't take too long, elaborate on things because it's a broad subject when we deal with taxes. But for the newbies, for the youngsters, the entrepreneurs in business, I need you to just kind of explain to them what is the W-2, the difference, the W-2, the W-4, and the W-9. All these W's, we get confused of what's needed for tax season.
So and that's pretty much the ABC. Getting your filling out that W-4, your employee, filling it out correctly. Now it's changed a few years ago, where you can claim single and maybe zero. And also on the W-4, you're placing the amount of dependents that you have. So you're claiming yourself and you're claiming your dependents. That's how your employer knows how to separate your federal and state withholdings based on that W-4. Okay? So you want to put the correct thing there if you can. Some clients, they may see on there where they're still, even though they're claiming single and one, they end up owing taxes. There's a section on the W-4 where you can go ahead and have additional taxes taken out, and different things like that. You could have no money going towards your retirement.
Okay.
So that's what you do with the W-4. Basically, you want to put the correct amount of dependents and holdings. Then you have the W-2, which is what your employer gives you at the end of January. He has until the end of January to get that to you. And you have the 1099s. And so these things, they show the amount. When you get a W-2, it shows the amount of tax that you pay. It shows your income. It shows if you have a pension. It shows your health care with certain codes involved as well.
Okay.
Your disability insurance and holdings and things like that.
Okay.
That's California at the bottom and what you can do with that. So these are important things that it starts with you, with your employer in the W-4. You get your W-2, bring it to your tax preparer, and that's where we get started. W-2s or 1099s, independent contractors.
Okay. All right. So guys, basically, because I know there's a lot of kids that get confused with what to put on the W-4. You know, it'd be like, I don't want to pay in too much taxes, so I'm going to put 10. So I'm going to have Mr. Smart just kind of clear this up for the entrepreneurs, the newbies in business that's making less income. I need you to just clear up that W-2 for me real quick, because I want them to understand that it's not how much you put on your W-4 that will really help you out in the end. Mr. Smart, can you just explain the W-4 for the kids, that things that they can put 10 dependent and they really have 0 dependent to put on their W-4? Can you explain that to them for me, please?
The reason for them putting 10 or more dependents on their W-4 form is because they want to bring home more money when they get their check.
Right.
Or what they don't realize is that is going to determine how much the deductions are for each category, either for the Social Security, federal income tax, or the state income tax, whatever. So what they do is if they put 10 dependents, they're going to bring home the whole check. If they put one dependent, then they're going to bring home less money. So they want to bring home more money, so they put that 10 dependent, not realizing that at the end of the year when they file the income tax, they might end up paying instead of getting a refund. So in order to set them up, they have this W-4 form. So whatever the amount that you claim on your W-4 form has a big effect on the amount you bring home and when you file your income tax the next year.
Okay. All right, but because I'm glad that you guys are clearing this up, because what they do at the end when you get questions is like, why don't I get a refund? Okay, so they have to know that it starts with the W-4, and they have to understand that if you pay in your taxes in the beginning, you may be able to get it back at the end when tax season. Ms. Proby, you got something to say on that subject?
Yeah, I just want to add that what also to what they don't understand, and like Kenrick and Phil said about what they put on that W-4. What the way it's structured, guys, there is the tax table that the government have structured based on that information, your income and your withholding. So sometimes they are confused about, well, why am I not paying in enough taxes, or why did I pay too much taxes in? But a lot of times if they fill out the W-4 correctly, it has nothing to do with the employer. And I've seen a lot of clients come in and they say, well, they didn't take out enough taxes and they didn't do this in my thing and they did it wrong. And it's not anything your employer did wrong. The government has the table structured. So whatever you have on there, that's what's going to come out based on that tax table, guys. So I've seen people blaming employers all day long. Well, they ain't take nothing out my check. And what happened? But it's what you put on the W-4, as Kenrick and Phil mentioned. So that's the story, guys. I just wanted to add that because I get that all the time.
Right. Are you guys got that for you guys listening out there, the beginners in taxes? And this question could go for either one because we're having a conversation here. What do you guys consider a simple tax return, a complex tax return? Who want to take that one? And the cost factor when it comes to a simple tax return or a complex tax return.
Okay, when I first started doing taxes in the 70s, we had simple tax returns.
So we had.
We do not have any simple tax returns anymore. Because even with the small incomes, you have different schedules that they have today. So when somebody come in and say, I got a simple tax return, it's because they don't want to pay for a more complex tax return. So when they talk about simple tax return, they don't want to pay to get it done. And as far as I'm concerned, we don't have no simple tax returns anymore because we have different schedules that we use.
Okay. Anything on that, Ms. Brody?
Yeah, I agree with Phil. I mean, they don't understand that every single items, if they have dependents or they have, maybe some other deductions that it's on the W-2 that creates a credit for their pension fund, everything generates a different form. Everything generates a form, right? And if they have dependents, then there is their income tax credit and all these other credits, and they could only have one W-2. And they think that's simple because I have one piece of paper. But then it gets into all the forms for the credit or income tax, this whole 9 yards. And then it gets into that whole due diligence thing that we have to do, right, guys? You got to fill out all this due diligence and checking off and asking all these questions. And all you had is that one simple W-2, right? But it can take, plenty of time checking off all those answers so you can get those credits. So I do agree. It's not that simple anymore.
Okay, all right. So not because you have a little part-time job or one job that you make less than a certain amount, you think that the process is still simple tax return, or those are the short form, as they will say. We just, I just have a short form. It just shouldn't cost that much. All right, so guys, when you call your tax preparer, don't say I have a, a, a simple tax return, okay? Because when you get in there, it's going to be a little bit different. All right, now
I just want to add something in there. I mean, and I had to say this because Phil Smart, of course, he did my very first tax return when I came out here in America way back then, and so he's been my mentor all of these years. And he did it one time, and I said, Phil, I'm going to learn how to do this, and I've been doing them ever since. But one thing I remember him telling me, he says, I don't do any 1040 easy. There's no such thing.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And I said, there's no 1040 easy. So I was like, okay.
Mr. Smart, Mr. Smart.
Mr. Smart.
Yes.
Now I know how young you.
Yes.
But see, this is what I like about this platform today, guys. Sometimes we just have to slow down and get the business part of it out. We're always partying and enjoying the music and everything else. But this is very important, especially after COVID. There's so many changes, okay? And this is one topic I want all you guys to participate. Now that we had been hit with COVID, everyone and their mama have a business, and everyone have a home-based business. So what we need to understand about home-based businesses is what are the deductions, what can we deduct, being a home-based business. So can you guys educate us on running a home-based business? Kenrick, you would like to start?
Unmute your mic, Kenrick.
Uh-oh. His mic is off. I see it.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes, running a home-based business, you have to have a room that is dedicated to business. The room has to be dedicated. It can't be part of your bedroom. Put things in there. That's one of the things. You got, and there's a chart or you go through to figure out how much you can deduct from that room that's dedicated strictly for your business. That's one of the things I know about this.
Are you guys hearing him well?
Not too well. For some reason, we're not getting hearing your microphone well, Mr. Kenrick. If you can improve that for us some way, somehow.
Yes. Testing.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay? Yes, I was just saying that when claiming a home business, one of the things is to have a room that is dedicated to your business, strictly to your business. That's one of the requirements. Anybody else would like to add?
Okay, so Mr. Smart, you would like to elaborate on a home-based business?
Well, right now when I think of home-based business, I don't know if we really have a home-based business. Because if you have an office outside, when you're at home, we can do most of these things remotely. So is it really a home-based business or is it just a business?
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
So what we do, we can do some of the work at home, and there are some things that we would deduct because we use a room. But most of the business today, especially after COVID, is not a home-based business. Now, just how the business is set up is basically how we set up new businesses. And my friend can tell you because she has studied quite a bit on setting up your business and how you go about getting most of your deductions and things. Ms. Proby.
Ms. Proby?
Okay, right. So, like Mr. Smart said, the businesses nowadays is ran not specifically because you set up a home-based business, but any business that you are operating and you're at home, doing those businesses because you're working remotely. And which is one of the things now. Before, people was like scared to take home deductions for business at home because they, there was that, like Kendrick says earlier, there was all that specification about being in a secluded area of the home and all that other stuff. But because of COVID and people working remotely now, that everybody is doing something from the house. Now you get to take a deduction for, and everyone has to get this, it's only a portion of those home expenses, a portion of the mortgage, a portion of the utilities, a portion of the property taxes if you own your home, or a portion of your rent. And like Kendrick said, you have to be able to allocate that portion according to the size of the home. You could do it that way. If the room is 20%, and that's what you take. Everyone think you just write off your house and you write off your car and you write off all this stuff. There's this, and everybody tell you, start a business and write everything off, No, you don't get to write off all your rent and all of your mortgage. It's a portion. It's a portion. So if you had 5 rooms and one of them is used for your office or for your studio or whatever you're doing there, then it's that percentage of the entire rent or mortgage or utilities is what you get to write off on your taxes, guys. It's not the whole thing. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, you guys understand that? We call
Question.
this the ABC right now because we have a short time and a lot to cover. So that's a home-based business, you guys. You just have to write off a percentage. But what can they write off? Elaine, did you mention, can they write off mileage and different things like that?
Okay, I think Kendrick had something to say.
Henrik?
Yes, I did have a question to the panel. What do you guys think of the new businesses immediately becoming LLCs and corporations and things like that?
What do we think? Say it again, sir.
Them forming a business, becoming an LLC, becoming a corporation, and trying to get their business done that way. Do you recommend them doing that in the early stages?
What I normally do is that when a person started business, and like Queen Lorna said, due to COVID, a lot of people started business, a lot of people started new businesses because they had to have another stream of income, right? And then if you guys have heard all over the internet, there's form an LLC, and write everything off. And Queen Lorna asked about writing all your car off and 100% of this. Everything is a percentage. But I don't recommend creating an LLC or a corporation right off the top. What I usually do is I talk to the clients and I find out exactly what the business is, how far they want to go with this business. Because of course, you guys know, Bill and Kendrick, if they form an LLC or a corporation in the state of California, now not any other state, they all have different rates, but in the state of California, there's an $800 minimum tax that they have to pay every year, whether you make money or not, whether you use that business or not, even if you just created it and did nothing. So I usually, Kendrick, to answer your question, is just recommend that they get the business started, do a sole proprietor, get it registered, maybe get your business license, get it registered, maybe do a DBA. This is just doing the business as that you filed, and then take that information, you go to the bank, open a business account, and then just operate it that way on, later on then incur these additional expenses.
Putting your EIN, perhaps even these things are free.
Yes.
So, yes. Okay.
Well,
Thank you
what-
for answering that.
Yeah, she's correct. What you do is, like Elaine says, start a sole proprietorship. Then from there, as your business improves, like you can go to a corporation, either a regular corporation or an LLC, but you will have to pay taxes on those each year. If you don't even make any money, 800. However, the alternative to that is if you start a nonprofit corporation, that's a different thing. So you still would have to get a exemption from the state in order to not pay taxes. But for a lot of people, when they start, they want to start an LLC or we want to start a corporation, sure, it's fine, but they have to realize that if we're going to do that, we still will have to pay 800 as whether we make money or not.
Or not. Okay, guys.
Thank you, Professor.
All right. You guys get that? We're going to play a little music. I'm going to thank our sponsors, Probis Tax and Accounting, Little Belize Restaurant there in Inglewood. We're open until 6. Radio Belizemix, of course. Thornton Executive Transportation for those who want to ride in style, you guys. We thank you for today's episode of A Wake Up Like This. Just a little bit of music, and we're going to come back to tax time in the community.
Daddy, daddy, something bite me. Daddy, daddy, something bite me. Something bite me down there,
and I like it,
something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Daddy, daddy, something bite me. Daddy, daddy, something bite me. Something bite me down there,
and I like it,
something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Daddy, please don't beat me. Something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Daddy, please don't beat me. Something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Linda tell Granny that me throw she the bush. The truth of the matter is, Linda throw me the bush. Tear off the ties and drawers. Suck me buckle too hard.
and I like it,
Linda throw me the bush. Tear off the ties and drawers. Suck me buckle too hard.
and I like it,
Daddy, please don't beat me.
Only on Radio Belizemix.
Linda bite me down there.
and I like it,
Linda bite me down there.
and I like it,
Linda tell Granny that me throw she the bush. The truth of the matter is, Linda throw me the bush. Tear off the ties and drawers. Suck me buckle too hard.
and I like it,
Linda throw me the bush. Tear off the ties and drawers. Suck me buckle too hard.
and I like it,
Daddy, please don't beat me.
Uh-huh.
Daddy, please don't beat me. Something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Daddy, please don't beat me. Daddy, please don't beat me. Something bite me down there.
and I like it,
Linda bite me down there.
The music of Del and the sensation right here on Radio Belizemix. And I know Mr. Smart never noticed my shirt. My shirt say, yeah, Del's. Yeah. Go ahead, Queen Lerner.
That's Dale's and the Sensation. That's Mr. Smart Band and the lead singer, Dale. All right, guys. So we warm up a little bit, and we thank you all for sharing and pushing a Wake Up Like This and sticking with us throughout the years. But we're gonna move on because we want to get some more understanding of taxes for this season. Most kids ask, like, okay, we say tax year and we say tax season. Okay, I want you briefly to explain the difference for them, because sometimes we're in 2023 and they're thinking, oh, okay, we need tax information for 2023. But can you explain that to them real quick? Tax year. Who want to take this one, Miss Proby or Kenrick?
Henrik.
Henrik.
Yeah, the tax year is the amount of income you received from January. Okay, so let me say it like this. January 1st to December 31st, 2022.
Sure.
That's the entire prior year.
Okay.
That's the taxes that we start during February 2023. It's the prior year. It's always the prior year. We can't do a full year taxes just based on the new year. So we wait till the year is completely done. You get your tax forms by January 31st. You bring it to the tax preparer and go from there. That is, so the tax year is the entire prior year of the date that you're coming in to get your taxes.
Wow.
That's.
Okay.
Mr. Smart?
Yeah, I am. What we consider tax year, there are some things we need to consider.
Okay.
Are we talking about the year we're going to file the tax? Or are we talking about which year the tax is being filed for? Let's say we're going to file,
Several late.
now we're in 2023.
Yes.
When we file the tax, we need to file tax for 2022.
22.
Problem is, we have to decide beforehand, how are we going to do it? If you're a regular taxpayer, then you choose to file the calendar year from January to December.
Okay.
And coming back to the corporation now,
And the business taxes.
on the business taxes, are we going to use a fiscal year or are we going to use a calendar year? But for the young people, they are concerned with the calendar year. So they are thinking about the taxes for 2022 is going to be filed in 2023, which would be from January 1st to December 31st.
Right. I'm glad you cleared that up because we won't be able to get into the business taxes part of it and the corporation. So we're basing it right now on individual taxes and stuff for the young and upcoming business individuals. So that's good to know, you guys. When we are in 2023, get your 2022 taxes together. And make sure if you have 3, 4, 5 jobs, make sure you get all those W-2 before you visit your tax professional. Correct?
Right.
All right. So we just want them to understand the ABC of what's needed to go to their tax professional. And so I'm going to ask this question. So there's so many tax professionals out there. There's so many of them. Why get smart? Why tax enterprise? Why come to Mr. Smart? What is your specialty that you do in your office that some individual need to know?
Well, the thing is, there are 3 or 4 things that I consider
Okay.
why they should come to me. Because I'm a competent tax preparer. The information that they bring to me is going to be confidential. I am not going to tell your sister about your taxes. That's not their business.
Right.
And I give prompt, reliable services.
Bam.
And each year, I make sure that I keep up with the new tax law.
It's in your tax law.
And if I do not know something, I call Proby.
That was a curveball. You throw me with that one. That's a good curveball.
You know what? Well, that is good. That is good when the master
Yeah.
on the student and ask him a question, right?
I agree.
Yeah, you agree with that?
And this is
Yeah, I mean, they were taught well. They were taught well.
This is what I like, guys. I like us working together. And with that said, don't forget we're going to be having a business seminar next month. You guys, we're going to contact all our business in the community to come through at Little Belize Restaurant. Once you see the flyer, the date, we're going to have that together. So we want to collaborate more with each other because everyone is their own individual. There's a lot of clients out there. So when they say HALAC, Albert HALAC and Son Tax Services, why should I come to Albert HALAC and Son Tax Services, Kenrick?
A good service, someone who genuinely just wants to help and help you to decide, the best way to go about doing your taxes.
Mhm.
Run into a lot of folks that may want to do taxes separately. We explain to them the benefits of going together, doing it right. Integrity, honesty, trust, knowing that your information is private and secure, and just knowing that we're going to make sure you understand why your taxes are. Take our time and explain that to you, especially the young folks. And this panel was geared towards the young folks because they need to understand this. They also need to know they can file their taxes, and if based on what they make, they can file as a dependent of another or file as an individual, but their tax preparers will help them decide that. But that's something important for them to know, so there's no mistakes or misunderstandings
Guidance.
with the parents. So we gotta let them know that. But you'll get reliable service, and we're friendly, and we're expertise. Mr. Smart, or all you guys may remember doing taxes shorthand.
Yes. All right.
All right.
That's what you'll get from us. It's just in, confidentiality and professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Give it up, you
All
guys.
right.
And that's Albert Halak and
Yeah.
Son Tax Services. And they're
No.
gonna tell you where they're located.
No,
Mr. Johnson?
Miss Lerna, you have to ask me the same question.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
For those who never know, Mr. Johnson is Johnson and Son. He do it all.
Yeah, you wanna
Mr. Johnson?
come to me because I know have tax, but I got taxi. Wanna understand? Yeah, I don't have no tax services, but I have taxi. I could carry on when I go.
You want to drop them off that it tax?
I will drop one off that the tax people them. So when you come to tax, we'll tax for taxi services.
I like that, you guys. I like that. So we have Province Tax and Accounting there. I'm hoping that that's one of the top also with his taxi. So, Miss Elaine, why should they come to Province Tax and Accounting?
Well, all I could say is that I'm in good company, and this is why I'm in company with these guys. All of the above. Prompt, confidential, integrity, knowledge. We know how we keep up with the tax laws, and this is why we are in good company here, guys. I mean, and that just goes to show you wherever you go, these three people that I know right now on this panel, that's what you're going to get. And one of the things I think Kendrick says, which I usually stress, is to let the clients understand their taxes. And I try to let them know that, look, no two taxes are alike. Don't come and tell me that your friend or your sister or your brother or your neighbor or your co-worker got a refund bigger than theirs and you made the same money.
They like to do that.
Oh my goodness. I know you guys have the same thing over and over. Their situation is different from yours. They didn't tell you about that grandchild that they're raising. They didn't tell you about their mother they're taking care of. They didn't tell you all this stuff. All you know is they work with you and y'all made the same money and he got 5,000 and I only got 2. So that part, no tax return is exactly the same. People's situation is different. But what we do is make sure that you understand your taxes. If you owe, we let you know why. Like Mr. Smart said about that W-4, you didn't withhold enough taxes. You had too many W-2s. They didn't take out enough on all these W-2s. Now they get added up and you are showing more gross income. So just understanding that process and making sure that they know that, along with all of the other stuff that Kendrick and Phil mentioned in terms of this, you learn about your taxes, you understand it, and then our service, friendly atmosphere, and we have fun doing it. And I tell all my clients, I do your taxes like I tell myself, I do your taxes like I do mine. We care.
We care. I like that. I love that. We care, you guys. So you guys, like I said, over 100 years of professional, oh my goodness, the CEO, the founders of all 3 of our tax preparer, our tax a company in the community right here on A Wake Up Like This. We have Kendrick Halak from Albert Halak and Son Tax Services, Mr. Phil Smart, Get Smart from Phil Smart Enterprises,
All right.
and Elaine Proby from Proby Tax and Accounting. And don't forget Mr. J and J Taxi. taxi services, so you cannot say you wasn't able to get your tax done. So with that said, we're going to move on to another important uh, uh, information that needs to be done. Tax
Before you
season. Go
before
ahead.
you do that, I just wanted to make this quick announcement. And Queen Lerna is also a certified tax preparer herself, but she doesn't tell anybody the story.
What?
No,
That-
no, no,
I dey
because
come for
we
you.
have
I dey come for you, where Queen Lerner.
For years,
it's been many years, right?
she worked with Province Tax and Accounting
Yes.
as a partner for many years.
Yes. And so you guys, so these questions is being asked by many. And this one I want you guys to all answer for Social Security now. For folks that is taking care of a elderly one, and they want to know if the income for Social Security is taxable and stuff like that. So I need you guys we'll start with Mr. Phil. Explain the tax information for people that get just SSI or Social Security. Can they file taxes?
I am not quite understanding the question.
Okay, so we have some individuals that their parents they get Social or SSI.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and there's some individuals that come in with just that income from what they get, and they want to file taxes. What do you tell them?
They,
Am I saying that correctly, Elaine?
they,
I think
They-
you really get in there.
the Social Security income is for the parent or for them.
It's for the parent, but the parent, but they taking care of the parent. Can they claim that income?
Okay,
Uh-huh.
she might be talking about two different things. It might be the in-home health services that they get money for, and or people who just get Social Security benefits.
People who just get social. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that is taxable. That is taxable.
Okay.
But the Social Security income is what the parent gets, not what the caretaker gets.
No. What the parents get, but they are still, still want to file taxes with their Social Security or their SSI.
The parent can still file. But
They can file.
Yeah, but the only reason they would file is if they would get a refund. If they're not getting a refund, there was no need to file,
Right.
you know? But
Okay,
the only reason, like,
Kenrick is saying something, but his microphone is mute. Kenrick, just keep your microphone on. Thank you, Kenrick.
or for example, if the parent has income from pension and other places,
Mm-hmm.
and that is more than $25,000,
Okay.
some of the Social Security income is going to be taxable.
Okay. All right. So that is what it is. That's where I'm missing. They have a pension and they get Social Security or they get SSI and they're still filing taxes. What
Some
part
of
of
it
that
is
is taxable? Okay.
Mr. Smart, how about when the parent is receiving Social Security and the parent is the dependent of the taxpayer?
I didn't hear that.
The parent is a dependent of the taxpayer,
Mm.
and the parent receives Social Security. Is there,
Can the taxpayer claim them? Is that what?
yeah,
Well, it depends on the circumstances, you know. I normally would not let the taxpayer claim her. I would let her file her own taxes, but like you said, it depends on the condition.
Okay.
What do you think,
yes. I'm trying to learn from you. How about
Rogi?
Well,
Elaine?
let me jump in here. There is an income rule on a dependent, and you have to have paid more than half of the care of taking half of the expenses of taking care of that dependent. So I always tell my clients, if their Social Security benefits, let's say that's only $12,000, and it costs, $25,000 for their living expenses to take care of them. So that means that you put in 13,000 and they only got 12,000, then you can claim them. So it all depends again on how much that Social Security is, but you can't claim them as a dependent if you're not taking care of more than half of their living expenses.
Right.
And if that number doesn't add up, then I say no.
And do your parents have to live with you in order to carry?
Your parents is only dependent that don't necessarily have to live with you. That's the only one.
Oh,
Everybody else.
okay.
Don't have to live with you.
Got it, guys. Do we have any questions from anyone in the feed, Mr.
Hey,
J?
how about the taxi man? The taxi service has any questions? Mr. Taxi Service?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was on a call with somebody who was trying to get my taxi service to show. But no, pretty much your audience have been very very attentive, listening and learning from you guys, and I hope that you guys have I'm sure you have answered a lot of questions that was out there that they needed to learn about. I'm sure that after this, if they have additional questions, they'll be able to reach the individual services. You guys have been doing a wonderful job, and you guys are important not just during tax season, but throughout the entire year. Each one of you are very important individuals. I want you guys to know that.
Thank you, Mr. I'm going to throw one more topic.
So are you, taxi service?
I'm going to throw this one because this is also important, because I know that even with COVID and the times that we're going through, real estate and people buying homes has been one of the things that has been up, So if someone buy a new home, I'm just going to try to put this in perspective, okay? If someone bought a new home, it's like the last part of 2022. But we are filing taxes in 2023. Can they claim that property on their taxes? Is still that, who want to take that on? Mr. Smart? Buying real estate. Mm-hmm.
Well, if they bought it in the last part of 2022,
Mm-hmm.
then there could be some deductions.
Some, okay.
Like they can claim it as a the interest income they can claim, and they can also claim some charges on the closing statements.
Oh, okay.
So if it is going to help them, then you claim it. If it's not going to be a positive for them, then you don't claim it, because it's near to the end of the year.
So when you buy the home and you live in it, it's is the itemized deduction for the home greater than the standard deduction that the government gives you?
That's right.
Right. So any transaction that happened in that tax year, which we just talked about, is deductible or claimed in that year. And I think that brings us back to just on regular taxes. If you have a child that was born on December 31st at 11:59 and a half.
11:59. I want to claim that child.
If your birthday said that year, you can claim it. I get that all the time, you guys. I'm sure y'all do too.
All right. Okay, guys, I'm hoping that you guys are getting some great information here from our professionals today, which we're trying to just touch on things that is right in our face. The beginning of filing taxes, what you need to look out for, the difference between your W-4 and your W-2, understanding what need to be put on those forms is very important. When you get a new when you get a new job, you can call and ask somebody, what should I put here? Because those are the questions that we want to get correct from the beginning, and how you can understand that you cannot claim 10 if you are just single, zero dependent, you don't have none, or you have one dependent. So you have to understand that flow of things. And some people say, well, I'm gonna claim 10 because I can change it in the middle of the year, or within 6 months I can change that. Is that something that they should do?
I tend to advise against it, which they forget.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if my clients follow my instructions, they end up better off than they don't do it.
I agree.
Don't accept. You might have some life situation going on, and you want to do that. There's got to be another way other than you trying to do this.
Okay. All right.
Lots against it.
That's a no-no, guys. Talk to your tax professional. Just talk and get the understanding. We are gonna do a few more minutes, guys. I know we started late, but we don't want to go too long with this. I just want to get a brush up of understanding your taxes in the ABC form right now. When you come to the seminar in February, guys, we're still in the tax season right there. So when you come to the seminar, you can have a lot more questions that you would like to ask. So right now we're gonna do a total spill on your business, guys. Get the word out, get in what you would like for the people to know at this point. We're going to start with my legendary mentor here, Mr. Phil Smart.
Okay, my business is Smart Enterprises, and we have different branches: Smart Income Tax, Smart Business Services, Talent Sensations, which is music, and whatever we go that covers the businesses, starting a business and help with business forms, and also immigration consultant.
All right.
Yeah, we've been in business since 1975. When
75.
I first came to this country, uh, a guy did my tax and I wasn't satisfied. So I went to school and I learned to do taxes.
Uh-huh.
And I was doing taxes for about 2 years for people
Okay.
for free. I found myself doing taxes, like 100 taxes for free.
Mm.
That's when I realized, wait a minute, it look like I can charge for this.
Yeah, it's a business now.
That's how we got into it. But
All
the
right.
whole thing is, each year I make sure that I get the new tax laws, improve on it.
Improve.
And I also realize that there are millions of people out there that needs to do taxes.
Yes.
So when I spoke to my friend Elaine, because we used to work with softball and everything,
Yes.
and realized she can do this tax. It's not gonna take away any clients from me if you do taxes also.
All
So she
right.
stepped up and she did a heck of a job. So we can always work together.
Right.
Elaine can work with me, I can work with her, we can work with Kendrick, we can
Yes.
work with the tax service,
Yes.
we can work with everybody in order
Right.
to enhance our business, because there is enough people out there for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smart. You guys give it up for Mr. Smart.
All right.
Smart Enterprise.
Yeah.
All right, Kenrick. Just don't take it too long. We got 2 minutes.
I'll make it brief. Really, a lot of things that started with my father 40 years ago, or around 1980, and he didn't like how the corporations and businesses were charging, and so he decided to start this business on a donation basis. And we have quite a few clientels. He's doing taxes for the kids and grandkids of his original clientele. Picked it up in 2002. Working with him and able to bond and come close and learn this business and get better on it and improve on it, study it together. So it's been a blessing. I find Mr. Haylock to be an extension of God's hands, and so is his business. And I hope to continue to keep it going.
Wow, give it up
All
for
right.
Albert Halak and Sun Tax Services. Welcome. It's nice to know you.
I know.
Welcome aboard.
Same here.
Okay, we're going to move over to Provis Tax. We have 1 minute and counting.
All right. Well, all right. Well, I won't say a guy did my taxes and I wasn't satisfied. A guy did my taxes and I was satisfied, which was pretty smart. So I went on to start a part-time tax business actually while I was working at different companies and went full-time thereafter. But Probus Tax and Accounting Service provide tax services. We have accounting services. We have a payroll service. We do business services where we create business, the LLCs, corporation, nonprofit organizations. And so we do all kinds of business formation. We do tax problem resolution. If you guys out there owing taxes, don't run away from the government because they'll find you. We'll help you through the process. We'll help you through the process. So tax problem resolution is what we do. And so we have a full-fledged department, different departments within Probus Tax and Accounting over the years. And then I also have a EEP Business Services and Tips from Elaine's Desk, which is a company that I've created in order to try to help our businesses and teach them how to stay in compliance, how to start a business, how to run it, how to operate it successfully, and how to make a lot of money doing that. So every week I do a live broadcast every Tuesdays and Thursdays, giving out free information how you guys can do this. And then there's also a free consultation if you want to get your business going or if you started and if you need to, take it to the next level and all that stuff. And all this stuff is free because, like I said, your success is our business. So I want to help everyone out there to get their business going. And then, you guys will be on this panel later on somewhere talking about 40 years and 30 years and 20 years. And the tax service man who has 30 years too. So that's it.
Thank you, Miss Proby. And the taxi services?
Yeah, I was hoping that you not count me out because I have to tell about my taxi services. One person picked me up and carried and dropped me off that crazy house. So I have my own taxi services now. I don't want anybody to pick me up and carry me anyway now. No crazy house. I no business this. So I got my own taxi service. You understand? There you go.
See, this is just to show you guys how the business started, and they are still pushing it over 45 years later. Okay, so we want to give it up. We want to thank you guys. We want to congratulate you guys. We want to let everyone know if you guys have any questions, their information will be, you guys could contact us for phone numbers, or you can look them up. They're on some platforms that you guys can find them. Okay, we do appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. We know there's a lot of other topics for us to understand what's going on with our taxes, our corporate taxes, or business taxes, or oh my God, all these corporations and different things. But for today, I hope you guys, for the young business entrepreneurs coming up, I hope you guys understand our topics for today. Once again, I want to thank Little Belize Restaurant there in Inglewood, Raider Belizemix, Probus Tax and Accounting, Certain Transportation, everyone online, everyone who helped us continue to grow this platform. All right. And I think that we are going to sign off because I don't want to take it any longer. We're going to continue this session. And Kenrick Halak is the brother of Albizi. Thank you, Abizi, for the direction to get him on this platform. So we appreciate you guys, and that the unity continues with joining these business. They need to pass it along, guys. So I'm trying to get it out of individuals. So if you have a business that everyone needs, make sure you come to this business mixer. Once again, if there's any questions, Mr. Johnson, any questions? We're going to take it all out, you guys. I want to thank you guys once again. This is Queen Lorna. It's a Wake Up Like This. Mr. Smart, Mr. Halak, and Miss Proby is here with us on
I
Wake Up Like This.